Hi, everybody. Welcome again to the Partnership Guys podcast. I'm Todd Leonardis. I am here with Steven Schneider and Rob Stoker. We are the Partnership Guys. Thanks for tuning in again. Today, we're here to talk about ego and why it's a silent killer of partnerships. If you got and received our book, you have heard this term. Ego is not my amigo. That is something that must have heard years ago, and it really resonated as Steve and I built out our partnership. We made it a point not to come to interactions with ego, or try not to come to interactions with ego. We do catch ourselves doing it every once in a while. The reason we want an ego-free relationship is because it really starts to hinder your ability to do what you want to do, your growth, and your happiness. So I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about ego and how it is or is not important to relationship.
Yeah, so I can definitely talk about ego not being your amigo. Great partnerships I've had, close friends, years. You have to put your ego aside. You have to have the business and each other's best interest in mind in every single way. And the one place that it bit me was the partnership I had with my neighbor. We weren't in business long, and it led to that 10-year lawsuit. And a lot of it was he was really good at the engineering side of the solar business we had. And, I knew a lot of people in town. I knew a lot of businesses that understood the value of doing solar and the incentives of that time. And there was definitely butting heads on the way that my way of selling people, talking to people, getting referrals, talking to people at townships. And, to me, he would just come over every day and, just kind of be saying, did you do this? And did you do this? And always looking for something that was, that my way of doing things wasn't good enough. And, then I started turning the other way, looking for things that, that he was doing that weren't well. And it was just bad. And it all came from ego. It all came from, we all have our way of doing things and our way that we think, that everything should work and the way conversations should be had. And this is leadership and building a business. And we all have different techniques and strategies. And I'm just keeping ego out of those conversations and just, focusing on what's best for both partners and the business, to me, just it means everything.
There
Yeah,
is
Todd.
definitely I was gonna say, Stu, there's definitely a difference between competence, confidence, and being egotistical as well. People are good. They should have confidence in their abilities. It's how you come to an interaction with that confidence. I know Steven has a lot to talk about on this one as well.
Yeah, Todd and I mean, we've been partners for over 25 years, and we certainly know that it's really, really hard sometimes to keep ego at bay. And a lot of that is because, you're not just coming into a situation with the partnership or with the business without everything else going on in your life. And it can be very easy to fall back into patterns of, I'm more important than you, or what I have to say is more important than what you have to say, or whatever that may be. And one of the big ways that we are able to kind of keep ego in check, is by thinking about and recognizing how we're coming to a situation or how we're coming to an interaction. When we are coming to an interaction with our egos present, the mindset is one of criticism. It's one of trying to find blame or fault for something. Whereas if you're coming to an interaction or a situation without ego, the mindset is more about support and curiosity. So if you find yourself thinking like, that's really stupid idea, or, why didn't they do it this way? You're coming to a situation with ego, and you need to check that and start to say, okay, I just don't really understand yet. So I want to find out why they did what they did so that I can figure out ways to help them get through this issue or develop this project or whatever the case may be, and be more supportive and curious about the situation.
It's
Yeah, for me,
important.
one of the questions that I keep getting from people is, okay, how did you, even for the three of us, and what we're doing is, these guys have been partners for 20, 5+ years, and I wrote a book together, clicking together, understand, and then kind of you came in and talked to them. So how did you, gain that trust and respect. And a lot of it was I had to put my ego aside. And it's not that I said everything you're doing and the way that you've been doing things is perfect. I have my opinions. I throw it in there, but at the same time, that I have to check my ego because you both do have the incredible experience of 26 years working together and really do know those ups and downs. And I'm excited to get different partners on these and, who I've worked with for decades and decades and talk about what it's meant to them also, because I have a lot of those relationships and I obviously had the one, 10-year lawsuit and really bad from the start and, no checking the ego at the door. But there's something that feels really good about checking your ego and saying, I want this to work out, even though that it's not my way, and supporting that and then opening up your mind. And like you were talking about, Stephen, it feels really good. And it feels really good to watch your partner succeed with the path that they chose. There's something that a good partnership, you're just enjoying that and celebrating it together and say, I love that you did it your way. And it's just awesome that it didn't worked out. And then even when it doesn't work out, the only thing you want to say is, hey, you did it your way and you took your shot at it and I'm with you 100%. And, there was no me saying like, well, if you did it my way, then it would have worked out. There's none of that. It's because it goes both ways. There's times where if you did it my way, it works out, doesn't work out. You got to do things that you're comfortable with. And as a partner, I just, support all of that.
It's a great example, actually, because especially now that we're in a partnership with three of us, Todd and I have been partners for years and years, and we know each other's language and moves and all that kind of stuff and what we're thinking to a large extent. But ego can also creep in. And Rob, this has definitely happened, especially when we first started working together, was didn't know your ideas, didn't understand sometimes the way that you like to communicate and things like that. And I would find myself, getting off a call or leaving a meeting, and I'd be, I'd want to go to Todd and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Right? It makes no sense whatsoever.
But that doesn't happen anymore, right? That never happens anymore, right? We're done with all that.
You come to the
I'm glad we're past that.
I get it. You come to the Rob.
Yeah.
But it was really what that was me bringing ego into that situation, even though the situation was over, right? We had left the meeting or whatever. And it was me just trying to recognize that I've got to be more open to your ideas and what, what you're bringing to the table. And because of that, we've moved this business and we moved this whole thing along so much more quickly because of that. And that's really helped us to kind of, grow the business and build on ideas that we've each had in order to try to get the concepts of the partnership guys out there much more quickly and more effectively.
Yeah, when ego is put aside and you're in an ego-free environment, it really does help you and the company move faster and smarter. As soon as we really started to the absence of ego is, in my opinion, sometimes vulnerability. Vulnerability creates credibility, and it is extremely important to be vulnerable with your partner. So that's automatically ego check. So I needed to see what my ego triggers were, or when the ego's just starting to kind of creep in on me, what changes in my head. And typically it's having a twinge of aggravation when I'm hearing the person talk. And that means, all right, you're not listening to them, you're dismissing them. And that's ego right there. I know best. They don't know what they're talking about. I have learned over the years to find my triggers or tells and try to self-correct at that point.
I think it's no different than in sports. It's teamwork and working together, and you might not always agree with the path, but you've both, at least when teams work well together, it's just understanding that you're both trying for the same goals. And in a business partnership, it's both the business, personal, it's understanding what those goals that each other have, which, everybody's goals are different, and what they want to see out of everything they're doing is different, and talking those things out and having a deep understanding and meaning, of what the other person wants, and checking your ego. And because it truly is, ego is not your amigo in that situation. You have to put it aside and understand that whatever works best for the two of you, the three of you, and in our case, that what you're trying to do, your mission, and what you're trying to do in life, the more you're aligned with all of it, the better it goes. And then when you're not aligned, I can tell you for a fact it all goes downhill really, really, really quickly.
There's no point in your life, anybody that you're in a relationship in your life, that ego is value to the relationship. Another one of the things that's kind of a tell is when I'm having a conversation with somebody and I find myself crafting the response before they're even done talking, right? It's like I've stopped listening, right? I'm just like, okay, I have to say something now because I know the answer to this problem. Right. And instead of actually listening and seeing where they're coming from and then taking a beat, thinking about a response and responding, when I find myself actually crafting that response in my head and just waiting for them to stop talking, right? I'm not listening. I'm not hearing what they're saying. I'm just there to kind of, bring my ego into the situation because I know I'm right, but I'm probably not.
Well, some of it also is if, we all learn differently and hear differently. And you've seen it where sometimes we'll hear something and, I'll say, wait, what? And, you might get it right away, but just understanding that everybody processes differently and learns differently. Maybe I ask a line of questioning that, the answers to those questions, and, instead of this is wasting my time because how does he not know those answers? It's let him process what it is that going through, and I'm going to respect that and put my ego aside and let him understand in his way for sure.
Do you guys have any techniques to kind of keep ego in check? For me, when I do feel that sense coming on, I literally will just take a beat. I'll take a minute. I'll take 5 seconds if I'm in a conversation to kind of recenter myself, take a deep breath, recenter myself to try to, remove the ego from my thought process at that time. Do you guys have anything that you guys do?
I will, especially if it's in the middle of a conversation, is I will force myself to just listen to what they're saying and stop thinking, right? Is to just kind of realize that what they're saying is important. It's important to them. And so I've got to recognize and change my mindset in order to really listen to what they're saying and stop thinking about what the response is.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I try to get away from it a little bit. I try to remove myself and go and take a walk, exercise, go spend some time with family, kind of just reset myself. And quickly I come to the realization that there's no bad intentions here. It's just a different way to doing things. And I'm going to have to allow that path and support that path. And I start to figure out ways that I can support that path. How can I show that I'm the opposite, that my ego is put aside and I'm going to, your path in every way. And just to me, getting away from things and doing different things and focusing on something else and bringing my mindset back to that we all both have the same intentions. We both want the same things and we all want the same things. And what's the best way to achieve that? And the best way to achieve that is putting my ego aside and letting that other person choose the path that we're going to go down.
It's like having a 5-year-old's mindset, right? Like they have no ego whatsoever. You have a conversation with them and the response is always, why? It's because it's this way, but why? Right? And just keep asking why until you can kind of get to the core issue or the core, idea that somebody else is trying to get across. So just being curious is really the big key, I think, to keeping ego out of the equation. Is just keep asking why, whether that's out loud or in your head, but keep asking why and just stay interested in what's going on until you figure out what the real issue is.
And this mindset transcends business partnerships. It's relationships. It's communication. We see a lot of ego in sports, professional sports, college sports. And you could tell when ego creeps in on the star, and because the whole team will start to withdraw a little bit and then they start to perform worse and worse. And it's because they're infected now. They're infected by this bad energy. And it's very easy to see when it creeps in on a sports team. So listen, some of these guys, men and women, they're younger, they're young adults, and they have been told how great they are all these years to get to the level that they're at. They don't realize that there was typically teams behind them that helped them do that as well.
No, it's really hard. It's hard to finish a game that you won where you played terribly in it and celebrate it. It's a hard thing to do. It's, I've been there. I played sports when I played really well, and on the inside, it feels really good. It feels really good to play well, win, lose, whatever it is. But the best athletes are there and the best competitors, they just want to win. And that's what the bottom line of all this is. We're just both trying to do the same thing, but it gets hard. And it gets hard, especially when there are losses that you would have done things differently. You have to put it aside in those times too. It's not just that if you put it aside, it's always going to work out in the other way. There'll be times when you were right. Your way was the quote unquote right way to do it, but in a good partnership, it's not. You were not right. You did the right thing by allowing your partner to do things the way they wanted to do it. And even if that way turned out to be the wrong way, we're all making the best decisions that we can. And there's no 100% here. This is not easy. This is leadership. There are hard decisions to be made. Most decisions are in that 51, 52, 53 to 47 range. And, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean it was wrong.
Yeah, winning, quote unquote, winning at partnerships is not a zero-sum game. The idea is that if you win, I win. And if I win, you win, right? It's what Simon Sinek calls the infinite game, right? There's no winners or losers here. And so you want to support your partnership. You want to support the work that your partners are doing in the business. And if everybody kind of works together to keep ego out of the equation, to work on the business together, then we all win. We all win, not just one of us. There's no you win, I win. I mean, you win, I lose, or whatever. It's everybody's got to work together. We're all on the same team.
And if you've come to see us talk or read the book, you know that we believe that trust is the foundation of a partnership. And that's what allows you to circumvent a lot of the issues with ego. You got to be able to trust your partner to know that they're trying to do things the best way that they can, or what they think is the best way to do it at that time. Without that trust, it just collapses.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good
Gentlemen,
talk,
this
guys.
was great. This was great.
Yeah, good stuff.
Really
good stuff.
appreciate you guys.
No, important
top
stuff.
it on.
I'm not
And,
listening to you guys anymore, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot what you were saying. I was really trying to kind of craft.
Do you want me to do that thing that I do where I just keep talking and talking and talking and talking, so you can say, I can give an example of that, so you can say,
There you go. There you go.
Amazing.
All right.
This is great, guys. We are the partnership guys. Come to thepartnershipguys.com. We are on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and please go to Amazon, pick up the Partnership Playbook if you want to hold something in your pocket. Actually out on Audible as well. So if you're like me and you're driving and that's when you do most of your reading, I would suggest you go pick up that Audible about the Partnership Playbook. So once again, I'm Todd, this is Steven and Rob, and we're the Partnership Guys. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.